Hello, friends. Sorry to hear that winter has hit some of you especially hard. I lived in Oklahoma for a time, and so I do know what negative 28 and ice storms and things like that are like. Today, we woke up to a bitter 68. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude with that. We're born where we're born. So, with climate aside, I wanted to touch on something that kind of started this whole thing for me and for this page, this group, and a lot of things for these guys. All of that stuff. And that was something, I think it was like my second video, maybe even my first one, and that is explaining what it's like having a TBI. Wow. Where do you begin? Well, I guess where you begin is at the beginning, which is your brain injury. Your brain on injury is like a cracked light bulb, but then it's turned upside down and somehow it can spring back to life. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't yet, but you can get there. Now, the thing about when you first wake up is there's almost no thought at all, really. It is almost dead silent. The confusion, it's not overwhelming because there's nobody to sit there and pick at it. There's no part of your brain to sit there and get angry. There's no part of your brain to get sad, happy. There's nothing. You're confused just because you don't know why you're there, for the most part. And so that's how it starts. Well, just like the analogy I made yesterday, the computer and the brain. The brain is a computer. Well, a computer breaks. Well, when we break, our eyes don't turn blue and then have a little blinking dot that says, hey, I'm broken. When we break, it's much bigger than that. It looks much worse. Some of you have seen the pictures of what happened to me. It looks much worse. And it's scary and it's overwhelming. And that's what it's like in the beginning for us too. That's why in the beginning there's so much cohesion in the care of us. But a computer, when it breaks down, it doesn't break on the outside. It looks exactly the same. We take it and we go, oh, you're broken, let's fix you. And then everything's fine. A human being does not work like that. We heal on the outside like that. Honestly, some of us a little bit longer, but the truth is, in retrospect, like that. This guy up here, not so much. And even if it does heal, which obviously, I mean, look at me, it's healing, but sometimes there are scars. I've shown you before things that I've had. Scars that will never go away. The scars will be there. On a computer, you can take scars away. On a brain computer, you cannot. That gets lost on people because we look bright, shiny, and new, and just the same on the outside. And sometimes we can even sound like it, which gets to the middle part of what having a brain injury is like. That confusion now is the loudest marching band of all time. And it is marching all the time. Except when you're first getting out of the wake-up period. The marching band has maybe 80 different members. And every last one is playing a different song. And your job is to start putting them together. First, based on, okay, well, you guys are kind of playing the same rhythm. It's not about, you guys all have trombones, go sit over there. That's how life used to work. That's how your brain used to work. It does not work that way anymore. The way it works now is we need to put you together based on how you work now, which is your rhythm sounds the same, and your melody sounds the same over here, your tone sounds the same over here, your pitch sounds the same over here. That is how we have to start organizing things. And if you can imagine an 80-piece band and you have the worst headache you've ever had in your life, you're hungrier than you've ever been because you simply just can't eat. You, every 10 seconds it seems, forget exactly why it is that you're standing where you're standing and doing what you're doing, or what it is that you're supposed to be doing at all. And then somebody reminds you. And sometimes they remind you very nicely. Sometimes they get really annoyed because you've asked so many times. Or because one of the times you asked, you finally were frustrated enough that you kind of said it a little mean. That's where we have this problem meeting, because we do not think like we used to, which means we do not think like what normal is supposed to be. But does that mean we're broken? I don't necessarily mean or think that we're broken. Changed, no doubt, and debilitated in some facets, maybe. But I think we've all been given a certain kind of gift, in a way, or at least some of us have been able to view it that way. I know in my personal situation, at least I have. If you don't, please do not be offended. It is not mean to offend. It is meant to inspire. If it doesn't inspire you, then back away. It's all right. But for me, this was a gift because it gave me a perspective on life that there was no way I could even conceive as a possibility. Now, as you know, I love science. The most developed part of the human brain, compared to all mammals, I mean, we all have brains almost exactly the same, except human beings have this amazingly developed frontal lobe, specifically. I mean, there's other things, trust me, but the frontal lobe is where everything happens. The majority of us, that's where we hit our head. It's where I hit my head. It's where most of you hit your head. Even if you hit your head back here at some point, probably bounced back here. Mine did a few bones a few times, but a lot of this is what got hurt. Now, the frontal lobes are in charge of virtually everything, especially everything that makes you human, specifically. It does not mess up your ability to go to the bathroom, depending on where you get hit. For most of us, it doesn't affect that. It doesn't affect your heart's ability to remember to pump blood or anything. It doesn't affect that. What it affects is what makes you a human being, which is your awareness of yourself, your ability to cohesively take your thoughts and put them together and glue them together into a piece of something that you can put out. That is what is taken away from you. You have 1,000,000 broken pieces of glass. Every last one of them is reflecting you, but it's reflecting a different piece of you. And now you are asked to piece it back together with absolutely no glue, no tape, not even a staple gun, even if it worked. That's what we're asked to do now. We're also asked to look like us, sound like us, walk like us, talk like us, dance like us, love, remember, eat. We're supposed to be that now. And we can't. We can be a lot of things, and we can keep building and keep getting better and keep improving all of our situation. But we can't be that again. And that is a very hard and frustrating thing. Every single day for us is a battle just to appease first the ones that we love the most, and then the rest of everybody around us. Because if we don't, they don't want us here. It's hard enough to get them to notice us in the first place. You know, my son has to be out in a wheelchair when he goes out. Everybody knows. It's pretty easy. For us, it's not that. And we have to deal with it with every single person that we come in contact with every single day. Why do we have anxiety attacks? Most of us, while we go out in public now. Because there's so much noise already happening that when you put us in a crowded room, then it's Nagasaki. And things are bad. But we're finding ways to not work past it and become ourselves again, because we're not ourselves again. We're finding ways to learn what our new brain is trying to tell us. And we're starting to learn that some of the things that it's trying to tell us are things that we didn't even know were possible to think about. But I guess that's for another video. Anyways, just remember, we are us. We're just a little bit different version, and we need you to remember, fixed on the outside, still scrambled on the inside. Peace.